Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome to a video here today with Godzilla vs Kong, the new empire. Was it Godzilla from Kong? Godzilla from Godzilla versus Kong, I guess, or X-Kong? How do they actually say it actually? Anyway, the new empire 2024. So yeah, this movie just came out in Japan today. The figures have come out today in Japan. So I haven't seen it. I know probably for everyone in America, you've probably seen the movie, you know everything about it. I've tried hard to avoid spoilers, which has been almost impossible. Yay. Even before the movie was out in the US. Anyway, let's not get into that. So I still don't really know exactly what happens. I'll be going to see the movie probably Sunday. Still trying to work out the time for that. But I'll be on holiday for the next weekend or so. I can't wait. Get to spend a lot more time with figures, taking some photos, so I'm looking forward to diving into these two right now. So just like Godzilla vs Kong back in 2021, I want to say, same package design. Actually, Kong is basically exactly the same. Godzilla, we do get a effect though, which is cool, and then additional hands like the last Godzilla vs Kong release. Now I know a lot of people are like, oh, why wasn't it, you know, XYZ, or why? Anyway, you know, look, if you have the original figures, you probably don't need these, to be fair. But yeah, maybe you'll prefer this version over the last one. You know, not every release has to be for every single person. These are perfect for new collectors, people who are just getting into collecting figures, you know, maybe kaiju figures or action figures in general, and they wanted to pick up something with a movie. Now, today in Japan, the evolved version, the pink version of Godzilla has gone on pre-order, so you can go pre-order that now if that is one that you really wanted. I've got my pre-order in already. I'm looking forward to getting it in October. It should be coming out in Japan. We don't have anything for Kong yet with the gauntlet, but they have teased one for Scar, is it? The other ape. I've tried hard to avoid getting too much information, but anyway, the ape. If you've seen the movie, you know who. But yeah, anyway, let's get them out of the box and see what they come with. Now, starting with Kong on the right here, as I mentioned, exactly the same as the original Kong release. We get the same, actually the packaging is exactly the same. Same hands, same axe. Though the difference is in that finish. And you know, I think this could be my favourite Kong so far. But yeah, we will compare him to the event exclusive one as well. Now for Godzilla, him in the center, we get the atomic breath blast effect as well as the lower jaw attachment. So this is very similar to the King of the Monsters release. However, we get the additional hands which the first GvK Godzilla came with. So it's kind of like a hybrid between the first two releases, which is pretty good actually if you are new to collecting. Like, I seriously think these are awesome figures for a new collector to the Kaiju S.H Monsterarts line, especially due to the fact, you know, the 2019 one here is pretty expensive, and even then I think the GvK one is definitely a bit harder to get now. So definitely a great pickup for new collectors, and you know, you get the bonus of both. But yeah, anyway, let's get them out of the packaging and on the turntable so we can have a look at that finish. So as the two swing around, obviously the first thing which will stick out to you is the bright blue on the spine for this release. That is drastically different to the first one. Now originally I was quite looking forward to the colouring of this one. I thought it would look better compared to the GvK one, but I think I prefer the GvK one actually. Definitely keen to see what everyone else thinks about this blue. It definitely is vibrant, it does pop, but I kind of like the more subtle minty colour of the first one. But anyway, personal preferences. Now the skin tone on Godzilla is actually a lot darker. It comes across as more black. Could do it with a little bit of weathering to make it pop actually. Definitely darker tones for the body and really vibrant blue for the spine. Now Kong on the other hand, I guess he's aged quite a bit in the movie. Hey, I'll find out when I watch it, but anyway, my observation so far, a lot more grey in his fur, which is coming from a figure. A lot more of a subtle, softer greys coming through. I think it looks really nice. As I mentioned, it's probably my favourite of the three. I think it's due to the first one, it does take a little bit of that shininess away from it, which is nice. And yeah, I think it's looking really good. Yeah, I'm actually surprised how much more I prefer Kong over Godzilla. I didn't think that would be the case. I thought it would be the other way around. But yeah, definitely surprised and pretty happy about it actually. So yeah, anyway, let's pop it off to the table, have a quick look at the articulation for both of them before we have a comparison to the other figures. Now, as I mentioned, if you have the other Kongs, you'll be pretty familiar. You know, the head will swivel around, a little bit of motion going up, which is quite nice. Going forward, definitely a bit more limited. If you push too much, maybe the head will pop off. But you can look down, but it does kind of rest there due to his big beard. And, you know, the shoulder range is quite nice, pretty flexible, comes up and around. A small bicep swivel, which is good. The elbow joint is really nice. Fist, yeah, it's a bit more limited, and you can swivel though, which is quite good. Now for the torso region here, we do have a couple of different parts which can move. We've got the upper region, then we've got the mid, and yeah, going forward, quite nice. And this middle part is floating, so it might get in the way, so you can just shuffle it around if that is the case. There we go. Going back, not much range there due to the parts overlapping and stopping the motion, but everything does feel pretty nice and fluid despite that. And, you know, some more range in that torso area would be really cool. Be nice to get a different version of Kong. Hopefully the one with the gauntlet will be redesigned to give a lot higher range of articulation, because that would be really fun. But yeah, anyway, coming down to the legs, nice range of motion. The knee joint definitely a bit more limited, but you know, about 20-30 mil range of motion. You know, that ankle will swivel. So again, if you're new, it definitely is a lot of fun to play with, and if you have the others, expect the same there. But I feel like this one does move a little bit nicer than the other ones I have. I haven't noticed any design changes so far, but maybe they did update a little bit. But maybe there are some subtle internal changes which we can't see from the outside. Now moving over to Godzilla, and one thing I do want to point out, I'm pretty sure the body is the same, but the head is a new design and sculpt. One thing you'll probably be able to tell is that the eye range is a bit bigger compared to that of a first GvK Godzilla, and definitely the head is looking so much nicer, and that is the main big down point for the first one. But anyway, coming into range of motion, everything here feels nice and fluid, decent range going around, though the spines will kind of hinder a little bit, but behind the shoulders we get about 5 to 10 mil of motion. The shoulder can swivel around without too much issue, and then a nice elbow joint range too. Now for the legs, I did find my left leg here is a little bit more stiffer than the others, so it does squeak a little bit. But the left leg is nice. We can get a decent swivel up and around, and then going for in and out as well. The knee joint, again, a few mil, bit more range there would be nice. And then the ankle is very limited. You get some motion and swivel. Now coming into the tail, everything here feels really nice and fluid, and I feel like it feels a little bit better than the previous one. It could just be my imagination. I don't think there are any changes. Like I was going over comparing with a sculpt, I haven't noticed anything that stuck out to me yet. But if you do know of any actual other design changes, please do let me know. But at least from a simple quick overview of it, or just comparing them, I haven't noticed any major changes, but it definitely feels really nice in hand from the motion in the tail. Now I also want to highlight the axe that comes with Kong. While the actual sculpting is the same, one thing that is really cool is that the blue this time is actually slightly translucent, so the light will come through it, which is really cool. So you can kind of see my finger behind it. So that is actually a really cool feature for this one. The original one was fully painted. One that came with the event exclusive had the attachment, I believe, and then this one here kind of see-through. So it's nice that while it basically is the same item, we are getting slightly different variations of it, which is definitely nice to see. Now we have the three Godzillas lined up, 2019, 2021 and then obviously 2024 Godzilla there, GvK 2. So overall, like, essentially the same with subtle differences between them. You know, at least for me, the finish on the 2019 is still my favorite. I love the softer, you know, earthy tone to it, that kind of grey colour. For the 2021 GvK version, we did get brown colouring on the body as well, which was nice, but I do prefer the grey tones for the original, whereas the new one is just straight black, and yeah, it probably is my least favourite of the three. But you know, the blue really pops with light on it, looks really nice. I think without bright lighting between the two blues, I think I do prefer the original GvK colouring, but it would be nice to switch the heads. I much prefer this head than this one. I don't know, the softness on it just doesn't look nice, and the plastic hair looked quite a bit different. And then yeah, the blue in the mouth has grown on me over time, so it doesn't bother me too much, but I know a lot of people didn't like that, so you'll be pleased to know that obviously the new one doesn't have that, which is really good. So overall, very similar, but they each have their outstanding differences, with this being my clear favourite. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, which is your favourite? How would you rank these? I think I'm really torn, but I think it might be 1, 2, 3. But these two actually are probably quite similar in place. Moving over to Kong now, we have the original in the center, event exclusive, and then the new one on the far right. Yeah, looking at all of these, so similar, but definitely pretty different. Hopefully you can see how the new one has a lot more grey and white to him. It looks really cool. Definitely digging the colouring on him, especially with the battle damage, which is on the event exclusive. Now if you aren't familiar with the differences, so this is the first one, which basically matches the start or the first half of the movie. And then for SDC 2022 must have been, we got the event exclusive Kong here. Now this one's battle damage, it has all the scars on the chest, powered up axe, and it came with the was it the UAVs, the little flying ships as well as an accessory, which was really cool. So definitely a nicer take than the original one due to the accessories, some slightly different hands, but overall I feel it is the better purchase of the two. This new one, I don't know, I love that finish. It's a nice blend of these two, but I'm really digging that slightly silvery grey colour. I think it kind of gives me that silverback gorilla vibes. So yeah, let me know in the comments below how you would rank these. I feel like it might be at least like this for me. The new one, and then the event exclusive, and then the old one. Though I would love the accessories from this one with this one as well, to give it a kind of complete package for those that might not have the event exclusive version. Okay, so I switched out the face. We've got the screaming one, he's holding the axe. Godzilla, I've switched out the hands and the jaw so he can hold his effect. Now that is pretty cool. Just like the first one, you can stand it up, blasting up into the sky. One thing to point out, there is a hole in here which can be used to attach a Tamashii Nation stand. So let me switch this over and we can adjust his pose. So yeah, really easy to do. You just pop off the lower chin and then you can attach the new one, then the effect will just slot in. So really easy to use, though I recommend picking up a Tamashii stand if you don't have one, so you can do this pose. Otherwise you will be basically limited to the one with him shooting it straight up. Now got Kong here as well with the axe, and just love the way the light picks up on the blade there and how you can kind of see through. And then the mouth open, teeth, you know, those massive teeth showing, definitely really nice. And then with a brown colouring for the eyes, and you know, you see so much more grey on his beard there, which is really cool to see. So definitely digging the look of both of these. So yeah, let's just jump into, I guess, the pros and cons, so we can, that's actually a good pun, the pros and cons of this release. Now straight away, pros. These are awesome little pickups for new collectors. Obviously with Monsterarts, if you don't get them on release or close to release, it can be really hard to pick up, especially in countries that don't sell a lot. So even I think in America it's probably pretty niche overall. So you know, stock will come over and that will be it. So after that it can be a lot harder to get, opposed to maybe here in Japan or some other countries. So the fact that we've got these simple re-releases, which aren't just a straight re-release of the original ones, you know, it gives new collectors an option, and older collectors as well, means they can pick it up and, you know, not have exactly the same figure, and, you know, get some adjustments, some other accessories. Now if you don't want them, you don't have to pick them up. You have the originals, you can stick with them, because, you know, as you saw, not a huge difference. But for those that want to collect everything, at least there is a subtle difference opposed to just being a different box. Now for those that really want the pink, or the evolved, I guess it's called, Godzilla, hey, he's up for pre-order. Go get your orders in for Kong and his gauntlet. Hopefully that will open up in the very near future. Now, yeah, I think the main pro for me at least is the finish on the new Kong. I love that you know, grey colour, as I've mentioned a few times, and the axe, the whole, you know, he can see through. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to doing some photos and putting some light on there. Now for the cons, yeah, definitely a bit more pricey. It would be nice to get them cheaper, especially since it is kind of release of other models. That's probably my only real big downside there. I would have liked to seen a stand included for Godzilla to utilize the effect, especially since I feel these are more targeted towards new collectors, which probably won't have a stand, and this will probably end up becoming a bit of a dead accessory. So by combining a stand in there, the value would have jumped up quite a bit, in my opinion. But yeah, you know, I think for the most part they've done a great job of improving over the previous releases. So yeah, please let me know how you would rank all of these figures. The only one I believe I am missing is the store exclusive version, and then there was a few others when this one came out for the movie. I think there's a clear blue one and so forth. But for the main bulk releases, for these, how would you rank them, especially with two new ones? Do they rank up compared to others? Would you pick them over the other ones or not? Definitely curious to see how everyone will rank these. I mean, I feel like Kong is definitely my clear favorite, and I feel like maybe eventually I'll probably get rid of these other GvK ones and just stick with 2019 Godzilla and the Kongs. These ones, yeah, not bad. They don't quite do it for me as much as the other Godzilla designs though. So I think I'd, at least personally, long term, 2019 I'd be happy with, and maybe I'll keep the new one, or one of these two at least, to pair up with maybe Mechagodzilla. So yeah, anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. Now I can finally go read everyone's opinions, thoughts, and all the good summaries of the movie online. But yeah, that is it for this review. I hope you enjoyed. I will be having one for the Evolved Godzilla later this year in October. So yeah, that is it. So again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, cheers!